thank you so much for checking out the Home Recording Network, and welcome back to day 2 of my 30 Days to a Better Home Studio Mix series. We are not quite into the exciting stuff yet, but this video is extremely important because even if it doesn't seem like it, this step is something I had to apply before my mixes actually started sounding professional. This video is about setting up your mix and takes place before we even start messing with plugins or faders. If you don't apply this to your workflow, I guarantee that you will remain amateur because every single pro audio engineer uses this step and they would be lost without it. And more importantly, they wouldn't have their signature sounds without it. But first, please make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video or if it helps you out at all. Any support allows me to reach more people and help out other engineers who may be in need. All right, enough of that. Let's hop into the mix so I can show you something. All right, in case you missed it on day 1, we are inside the mix that I previewed for you. This is the mix we're going to be using for these 30 days. We're going to lay out some techniques and ideas that I think would be very beneficial to anyone working out of their home. But first, just let me play a clip of the song. I'll show you a little of the chorus, verse, maybe the bridge.
These kings and queens, they all fall, they all fall. Headless back into destined unaware just what will be done. Cause you know it just might happen. In America, in America.
Yeah, and this is a great mix, very tight, and it was done all out of my home studio. But it had to start somewhere, and this mix started the same as all my other mixes, and I'll get to that. By the way, if you want to see a real in-depth walkthrough of this whole mix, it will be up on my Masters of Home Recording site by the end of the year. There's a 14-day free trial for that. Links in the description. This will be up by the end of the year. It's not up there yet, but there are a ton of other walkthroughs and things like that up there if you want to check it out for 14 days for free. Now, I'm going to tell you this very important part of your workflow that needs to be implemented. And when I say it, you might want to skip through the video, but do not, because I'm going to explain why this is all so important and you just need to hear me out. So setting up your mix really shouldn't be that difficult. Now let's take a look at my mix setup right now. So if we come down to the mixer here, let's start from left to right. So this is what my mix looks like every single time. I start with my kick drums that go into their kick bus. Then I have my snare drums going into their snare bus. I have a snare effects bus next to that. Basically, I have all my drums here in red, all ending up at the drum bus, a couple extra effects there. And again, I'm going to go through all this in the next 30 days, but just hear me out. Then I have my bass guitars. I have some acoustic guitars here. Then in yellow, I have all my electric guitars. I have all my keyboards and synth in green. And then I have at the end here, I have all my vocals, which go into the vocal bus and all their effects. Now, this looks pretty much the same in every single one of my mixes. Now, the key ingredient here is your mix template. You need a mix template, and I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why, but just hear me out. Now, I'm going to start with the most basic reasons why this template's so important and move up from there. So, the first reason why is so your workflow looks the same every time. I know that my drums are up here in red. I know my bass guitars are always purple. My guitars are always yellow. I just know where everything is in this mix, and I can get there super fast if I want. And it looks the same as every other mix. It's just easy. Why make things harder on yourself when it doesn't have to be? Now, the second reason is also very simple, and it's just time. It's timing. You save time with a mix template. If I had to open up a blank project and add a track every time I needed to and create all my effects buses, there's a lot of effects buses here. If I had to do that every time, do you know how much that would add to the project of stuff that I just don't need to be doing? I can already have everything set up and routed correctly right from the beginning, so I'm not jumping around trying to, send my kicks somewhere, send my guitars to their reverb. Everything's already set up when I open up my template, and it just makes things again so much easier. The next reason sort of goes along with the time factor. So if we look at my mixer here, look at all the plugins on all these tracks. I mean, there's a lot of them, and they are already there when I open up my template. I don't have to go searching for plugins when I want to start mixing something. I already know my favorite plugins for mixing kick drum. I know my favorite vocal chain. I know all this stuff ahead of time. Why would I take the time to add all these plugins in and start from scratch? And here's another piece of information for you it's very important. Pro audio engineers aren't using different plugins in every mix. I mean, they're using a lot of the same ones every time they mix a song. They use a lot of the same vocal reverbs in every song. They already have the vocal reverb up that they know that they're going to want to add to the mix. And if they don't like it, they go and change it. I'm not saying you have to do the exact same thing every time, but you should know your go-to plugins for all your tracks so you're not wasting time trying out new things. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't try out new things. I do that often. But for a kick drum, things aren't really going to change for me. For my vocal, things don't often change. I use basically the same plugins every time. I know the reverbs I like. I know the delays I like. And this is how engineers get their signature sound. I mean, it becomes part of their sound. Their template is their sound because, like I said, they're using a lot of the same effects and plugins in every mix. If you've ever heard CLA or watch him mix, you can tell a CLA mix, and he's using the exact same. Of course, he's not using plugins. He's using the exact same gear. He rarely goes to change the settings on his gear, and he just has everything set up the way he knows he's going to like it. Now, you need to ask yourself, do you have a signature sound? Because I can guarantee if you don't have a template, then you don't have a signature sound, and that's what you want to create. Now, my template doesn't always stay the same. It changes over time as I pick up different techniques or find something that I like more. Sometimes I add things to my template, but I know in my template that I always have all of my vocal buses already set up that I use in almost every song. I have my go-to reverbs, my go-to delays. Everything is already set up for me. Now, when I open my template up, there's a lot more in it than just this. I don't always use everything in my template, but I know that it's there for me if I need it. And if I don't, I just get it out of the mix. Something that I also think is very important about this template is that we can spend less time, creating tracks, adding plugins, sending things to effects, and we can just focus more on mixing the music, which is what we want to be doing. We want to be creating, we want to be in that creative mindset. We don't want to have to do all these little tasks that really aren't that fun. We want to concentrate on making the music sound good. And with a template, that's possible. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing before I started using a template. I mean, I was building a mix from scratch, reaching for plugins to trying out different reverbs, and just wasting too much time. This allowed me to just really focus on my mixing skills and save time and ultimately just create better mixes. That's it for day 2. I hope you've learned something. Maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't, but I just felt it was my duty to share this information with you because I know how important this stuff is. I hope you come back for day 3. Day 6 will be when we start getting into the fun stuff and the actual mixing of the song. But like I said, every one of these videos is important, and I wouldn't post it if I didn't think it would help you out. Talk to you later, guys. Happy mixing. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also be sure to register for my free online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to make radio quality music from your home without breaking the bank.